I gave up yoga, and to be honest, I never thought that I would come back to it. But as life flows these days, something unexpected happened, and this I want to share with you in that video. I started with yoga as I was 17, so at that time nobody did yoga. It was very rare and only few people did it. Now yoga has become incredibly famous in the Western countries, so you can do yoga everywhere. I stopped to practice yoga 10 years ago because as I discovered meditation, I felt like yoga is really flat compared to meditation. So meditation for me went very deep. I even did a program to become a yoga teacher, so I went really deep into yoga. But during that yoga time, I always felt that it's kind of like too repetitive. I didn't like that because it was quite boring to repeat these movements and it felt somehow a bit stupid. And then I discovered meditation, and meditation went so deep that I dropped yoga and went onto that journey of meditation. So I didn't think of ever coming back to yoga, but as yoga became that popular, even if in the small town next to where I live, there is the possibility to do yoga. It's absolutely crazy that yoga even arrived here. So many people are doing yoga. And then these days, a beautiful friend of me, she asked me if I want to join that yoga session. And I said yes. So I gave it a try after all these years of practicing meditation, and it was very interesting for me. In this video, I want to share my experience with you with yoga, how it felt for me. So I went to that place for the yoga session, and it was a beautiful place in the morning at 8 in the morning where the sun is rising and the nature is just amazing. I had that view over all that landscape and I could see the sea from a distance. And I must say that as I practiced yoga the last time, it was in a big city in a kind of yoga studio. But in this location now, it was a quite different experience. In that kind of space, in that nature, yoga for me had somehow another kind of value, and I could really feel that connection to everything. So it was very interesting to try the same kind of technique in another surrounding that gave me a deeper connection and that feeling of starting into the day with that bodily movement supported by that nature that is surrounding me. What I don't like about yoga, and I still don't like that, is that yoga is very masculine. Even if most of the participants are always women, everywhere where I went, still this yoga is masculine with that movements and all this discipline. And I feel that the people that are doing yoga very intensely, they look masculine. And for me, it is missing some kind of feminine, some kind of softness, receptiveness. It's more about that discipline and less about the feeling. Of course, it depends a lot on the yoga teacher. This is for me also a key take of yoga in general. It all depends on the energy and that vibration of the teacher. But I never had one teacher that had that feminine part. They were all also looking quite masculine, and this never resonated with me. And that's why I never felt that going that deep into yoga, because I missed something. And I can imagine why so many women in the Western countries like yoga, because it's kind of like a softer movement than other activities. And also the women in the Western world, I feel they became very masculine, and a lot of them lost their femininity. And it's not surprising, because all our surrounding in this world is supporting that masculine part. Also in the working environment, I always felt like that. And I'm not wondering why so many women have problems like PMS, because somehow it always feels for me as a woman that it's not allowed to live that part, that softness, that positivity in this world. Of course, everybody of us has the two sides, the masculine and the feminine part inside of us. But still, I feel that lack of the feminine part, and yoga is not supporting that. It's all about discipline and that technical movements. But what I enjoyed a lot this time, I really have to say, and because of that, I will continue with yoga. I really enjoyed that bodily movement. In the morning, it was very nice to start the day. And I know that there are different kind of yoga styles and techniques. So for an activity, I feel it's very healthy for the body. It's a really nice way to start into the day. And after all that meditative practice, what was interesting was that I didn't have any kind of goal, any kind of idea what to achieve by doing yoga. And this changed everything, the whole experience, because for me it was just like doing a bodily activity, and it felt very good. That was like the goal in itself. So there was no higher goal or anything to achieve, and this felt very nice. And this was the key for me to continue this bodily movement, just because of the movement in itself, and not because I'm thinking I'm getting something higher out of it, some like kind of like spiritual growth or anything, any kind of goal. It's just that movement in that moment, and that's enough onto itself, and this felt very nice. The yogis somehow, they are taking themselves very seriously, so they become kind of like hard and serious in my impression. And that's what I really enjoyed about the Osho path, that it's about celebration and joyfulness. And I feel that with celebration and joyfulness, awareness deepens and consciousness is even expanding. I felt that all that meditative journey helped me a lot to experience that yoga session in a different kind of way, to feel that connection between the body and the breath, to come into that space where the body is moving and practicing that kind of technique, and the mind has the possibility to rest. So I have the possibility through that meditative experience to be that watcher of the body, how it moves, how the breathing is connected to the movement. And that felt very interesting and like a completely different experience compared to the yoga that I did 10 years ago. So, in a kind of sense, I feel now that yoga is, in a way, completely overrated, because people, even if they want to do less or they want to relax, they even looking for something to do. And yoga is a kind of activity, so they can allow themselves to do that. But for me, it's not rest, it's a physical activity. So I feel that it would be very healthy and very beneficial for people in general to do less. But as a physical activity, I feel that yoga is very nice, it's very gentle, it's a conscious way of moving your body, and that feels very good for me. So it can be very healthy and beneficial for the body. But in my experience, if you're not diving deeper into that meditative part, and yoga has its meditative parts, but they are quite small. If you're not diving more into that, then yoga is just a physical activity, and it's nice, it's okay to do it, it's nothing wrong with it. But to take it as a higher thing that will lead you to spiritual growth or anything is some kind of misleading. I even studied all that philosophy as I did that program for the yoga teacher behind it, and all that rules, what you should eat, what you should not eat, and all this stuff. But I still feel all of that philosophy is very superficial compared to meditation and what is possible to experience in meditation. If you have your own experience with practicing yoga, please share them in the comments below this video. So I hope this video could be an inspiration for you if you are practicing some kind of yoga or you want to start to practice yoga. It's my honest experience. It doesn't have to apply to everyone. I wish you a beautiful day and hope to see you in the next video.